Welcome to the Content Champion podcast. We provide the training and tools to help you become a content marketing champion in your online business. Introducing your host, the content champion himself, Loz James.
Hello again. Welcome to the Content Champion podcast. Thanks as ever for listening. I know you could be anywhere online right now, so I'm honoured you've chosen to be here. Don't forget to get early bird discount pricing on the Content Champion Academy when it launches. Visit contentchampion.com/academy and join the VIP list. On the show this time, I'm delighted to welcome expert digital strategist, SEO professional and content marketer Robbie Richardss. Not only is Robbie in demand for his client SEO services through his Royal J search strategy firm, but the actionable, in-depth online marketing case studies he publishes on his superb blog, RobbieRichards.com, set him apart as one of the most knowledgeable marketers on the web. I've read literally every post on Robbie's site, yet one that detailed how he collected nearly 1,200 emails in just 10 days by running a giveaway really got my attention. So I was excited when he agreed to be my guest on the show to tell us how he did it. Let's dive in. Thanks for coming on, Robbie.
All right, thanks, Loz. Thanks for having me.
Now, in this show, we're going to talk about growing your email list with giveaways. But before we dig down into this, could you share your backstory with us, please?
Yeah, sure. I grew up, I was born in Australia, in Sydney. Grew up there till I was about 18, and then I moved over to the United States, to Boise, Idaho. I got a golf scholarship to play at Boise State University. So I did that. That was a great experience. And then graduated in 2011. And then I started doing an internship with a large ad agency here in town, as there's several offices around the country, and kind of got into the online marketing space there, and kind of kept going with it. Now I'm working with another company called Royal J, leading the marketing team there and working on a bunch of different projects, which has been a great experience. And then about 18 months ago, I started a personal blog called RobbieRichards.com. And it was essentially just a proving ground for me, a place where I could share some of the strategies and tactics that I was using on a daily basis for clients and personal projects. And also kind of a bit of a testing ground, I guess, where I, tried out different things, whether it be an SEO strategy or a list building technique or something like that, just to see how it worked. And from there, it's the content things that I've been putting out have been received really well, and it's grown really fast. And yeah, it's been a great ride.
Well, absolutely love your blog, RobbieRichards.com. It's one of those ones that, comes on the scene now and again, and it really creates a buzz, and I think, as you say, in just 18 months, you've achieved a lot. And it's one of those blogs I really look forward to reading your content, because you do go into those sort of in-depth case studies, and that really creates interest, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think, there's, especially in the online marketing space, it's a very saturated, I guess, industry. So especially when you're talking about blog content, lots of people out there are really good at what they do. They're good writers. So it's comes down to sort of finding a way to stand out. And one of the things that, just from reading other people's content, like Brian Dean, for example, and some other bloggers, I try to really only publish one, maybe two pieces of content a month, but they're usually, super, super in-depth case studies or tutorials that, that people are able to take away and implement pretty much immediately. And I found that has been a way for me to kind of stand out and get some early traction.
Okay, well, look, that's the backstory, and everyone knows about your fantastic blog. So let's go into an overview of today's subject, how to use giveaways to build your list. Could you tell us why this is a good idea, and then perhaps give us a few success stories to whet our appetite?
Yeah, sure. So, I've run a few giveaways now, and, I've also ran a couple for clients. And, I guess it all comes down to, from what I've seen and speaking to other people, giveaways are by far the easiest way to build your email list or get a lot of subscribers really quickly. And I'm talking like potentially thousands of email subscribers in a matter of days. And, not only that, outside of actually building your email list, there's a lot of other secondary benefits as well. For example, you can, the way you set it up, if it takes off and goes viral, or I don't really like viral, but if it takes off and does really well, usually what comes with that is tons of social engagement. You're reaching a new audience, you're engaging influencers, your social media profiles are growing, which just gives you another distribution channel for your content. And so there's lots of advantages that come with it. But probably the biggest thing too is you can have a small site or a really large site. It doesn't really matter. If you have a good process in place, even if you're just starting out, you can use a giveaway to, really spark a fire and, grow your email list really quick no matter what. So, and they're very easy to set up. So lots of different benefits from them.
And yours, the one you talked about in the post that we're going to highlight during this discussion, you got about 100 a day for about 10 days, nearly 1,200 email subscribers?
Yeah, just under 1,200 email subscribers in 10 days. So, it did really well for me. Like, that's, at the time, that was double the amount of subscribers that I would typically get in a month. So, really good progress there. And then, but when you look at other examples out there, it's really a drop in the bucket. Like, if you've done any research on the topic in the past, you'll see that people like, Brian Harris, who I model a lot of my giveaway promotion around, he generated 2,500 emails in a week, I think it was. There's that Josh Earl, if you've read the Smart Passive Income blog, he collected 187,000 emails in 11 days. And then, AppSumo, obviously they gave away a Dropbox license, nothing super, expensive or grand or anything like that, but it resonated with their audience and they collected 200,000 emails in 7 days. Now, like typically you're not going to get those types of results, but let's just say you launch a giveaway, anyone really, and if you can collect 500 or 1,000 emails in a week and they're targeted subscribers, that can really have a pretty big impact on your business. So
I can remember reading that Josh Earl case study on Smart Passive Income, Pat Flynn's blog, and my jaw literally hit the floor because I was just thinking, have I misread that? That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I know. It was one of those things too. I read the case study, and when I originally read the title, you have that impression where you're like, oh, here we go, a bit of clickbait. This is going to be one of those posts. And then you read through it and you see all the screenshots and snapshots and, the fact that his server crashed because it generated so much traffic, it was unbelievable. And again, the prize that he gave away was it was just a Sublime text editor license. It wasn't any, thousands of dollars. I think that costs, I don't know, 70 or 80 bucks maybe. And, 187,000 emails. That'll take a lifetime for most people.
Well, I'm definitely going to do one of these. So lots of people listening probably will as well when they've heard this. But I guess it all starts with the prize you give away, doesn't it? So what makes a really good one?
Yeah, definitely. The most important part of setting up any giveaway is selecting the right prize for sure. And, when I was researching different ways that I could, set up and really make a giveaway work, I came across an article on Gail Breton's website called Authority Hacker. He set up a giveaway and did really well. I think he collected a couple thousand emails in a very short period of time as well. And, he talks about, making sure the prize, I guess it falls into two areas. First, it has to be relevant. So, it has to be something that your audience actually wants. Now, you see a lot of people out there giving away free iPads and different things. And in most cases, that's really the wrong approach because, everyone wants an iPad. And that's kind of where the problem is. Like, if you're targeting everyone, you're really targeting no one. Most people are just going to enter. If they don't win the iPad, then they're not going to open your emails and they might even flag you. They're just in it for that. So in my case, I chose my blog, obviously, people who are in the marketing space, specifically SEO, and list building and things like that, they come and read my site. So I knew that picking a prize like SEMrush, which, anyone who it has anything to do with the SEO space has probably heard of it, really good tool, very powerful. So I knew that was a relevant prize. And then the second part of it was making sure it's highly desired, like people really, really want it. And so that kind of fell into the area where, okay, this prize is obviously, extremely powerful, does a lot, can really help me in my SEO and PPC campaigns. But not only that, it costs the pro license, which is the lower tier, is $70 a month. So for most people, that's pretty pricey. So, that at that price point, it's pretty attractive to anyone who's serious about, working in that space. It would be a very handy tool. So, all those sort of factors taken into place, that's what it boils down to. And so that's kind of how you pick a prize. Make sure it's really relevant and it's something people really, really, really want.
And I'm a complete newbie at this. So when you're picking those prizes, did you pay for that license, or did you have a special deal because you're an affiliate or something like that?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So coming up with the prize, there's sort of two approaches you can take. I'm an affiliate for SEMrush, so it was a bit easier for me to reach out to SEMrush and ask if they would mind, providing a license for me for the giveaway prize. And fortunately, they said yes. They got a lot of exposure from that giveaway in return. But I understand that a lot of people listening right now may not be in the affiliate marketing space. So the second approach that you can take is essentially, once you've identified the prize that you want to use in your giveaway, go out and just simply reach out to these websites, or especially if you can find a personal contact on a site, and just ask if they'll sponsor. But don't just reach out and say, hey, I'm running a giveaway, do you mind sponsoring, providing a prize, and you'll get a lot of exposure. In order for it to be successful, you really need to reach out, and you don't only need to tell them or ask them for the prize, but if anyone else has donated a prize already, like if you're doing a multi-prize giveaway, drop the brand names of those, people who are donating a prize as well. It gives a little bit of social proof. But the real key element of the outreach is going very, very in-depth into how they will get value from it, and specifically showing that you have a strategy in place for how you're going to promote the giveaway, set it up, what technology tools you're going to use, and really how you're going to drive a ton of traffic and get them a lot of exposure in return for giving the prize. Like when I reached out to SEMrush, even though I knew they were probably going to give me a prize, for us to sponsor the giveaway, I also provided them a 17-point checklist of how I was going to drive traffic to it. And in the response that I got, that was definitely a big factor in them saying, okay, yeah, we'll give you a license, because essentially that was an $860 prize or something like that. So
you mentioned the tech as well then. I should think a lot of this hangs on the technology that you use to create the engagement and run the giveaway itself. So you used something from the guys at AppSumo, didn't you?
Yeah. I used the tool called King Sumo. It's, Noah Kagan and the guys over at, they're behind SumoMe and AppSumo. They created a great tool for setting up giveaways. So highly recommend using it. There's a lot of tools on the market, but that's the one that I've used for all my giveaways. And, it's the same tool that people like Josh Earl and Brian Harris have used to create their viral giveaways as well. And, you can literally be up and running within 10 minutes of installing this tool on your site. There's no coding required. And one of the key elements of the tool that really allows facilitates your giveaways doing well is after people enter their email and sign up for your giveaway, they get taken to a custom thank you page. And on that page, they get given they call it a lucky share URL, but essentially it's just the custom URL that you can share. And they provide buttons to share it directly to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, all those channels. And then if anyone comes through and actually, signs up to the giveaway from the URL you shared off your thank you page, you'll get additional entries in the giveaway. And, you can set the number of entries. For me, I gave everyone who referred someone to the giveaway an additional 3 entries. And, that way you're just building in that viral component, and people are kind of acting against their own self-interest in the sense that, and this is what Josh Earl talked about, most people when they enter a giveaway, they're like, okay, I don't want to tell anyone about it because that means there's more people in there and there's less chance for me to win. But this type of approach people share that lucky URL, they get a ton more entries in the giveaway. And so they actually, by sharing it with people, they get way better chance of winning. So that had a really big impact on the giveaway doing well and generated a ton of exposure. In fact, I got just under 1,200 people enter, but I had 3,600 entries in it. So that kind of tells you that a lot of people were sharing and referring others to it. So
that's amazing.
You're listening to the Content Champion podcast, showcasing the training and tools you need to become a content marketing champion in your online business.
Okay, so in the post that we're talking about now, where you give this case study of the giveaway that you did, that we're talking about in today's show, you give an 11-step system for getting, as you say, as many people as possible to see it and share it. So could you just give us a sort of quick fire overview of what you went through, the process you went through to get sort of eyeballs on your giveaway offer?
Yeah, for sure. So my first giveaway that I ran wasn't very successful. So when I put together this one for SEMrush, in this case, I really wanted to push it hard and see what type of effect that aggressive promotion would have. So I had a few strategies of my own, but then I looked around and, again, Brian Harris is another one who's done really well with this type of thing. And I looked to see what he did, and I really modeled quite a lot of how I promoted it off of some of the things he was writing about. So, I'll just go over very quickly what I did. So first of all, I went through and I looked in my Skype account, I looked through my email, and I picked out anyone that I have regular communication with in the space that I thought might be interested in my giveaway and whose audiences might also be interested. There was no point, reaching out to my friend Jim, who's a carpenter. His audience isn't going to care about my SEMrush product. But I had quite a few people that I speak with regularly that their audiences would have been interested. So I just Skyped them or emailed them and said, hey, I'm running this. Do you mind sharing it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever that might be? And a lot of people will do that. So that's the first thing I did, just to seed that initial promotion. And the next thing, and this was huge, was the email launch sequence I ran. And it was a 6-step sequence, I believe, from memory. I launched it on a Monday. The Friday before, I sent out an email that just kind of teased people about a giveaway that I was running. I mentioned how much the giveaway was worth, but I didn't actually say what I was giving away, just to kind of build the anticipation. Then I sent out my launch email, and then I sent out 2 additional emails through the week that one of them just explained the value of the tool and how I use it, and sort of explained how people can get additional entries by sharing it, and then also gave a leaderboard so people could see, who was already, leading the way in terms of entries. So, they had an idea of what they needed to do. And then the next email that I sent out, and this is one that I got from Brian Harris, and it's a great idea. It's essential to the success of your giveaway. He calls it incentivizing the laggards, but essentially what it means is, people are going to see, this giveaway and say, oh yeah, if I enter and share it around like my one entry, I probably got no chance because there's already 1,000 people entered in the giveaway. But if you say, oh, hey, if you can share this giveaway enough and get 5 other people to enter, which is what I did, I'll enter you into a secondary drawing to get another SEMrush license. Plus I'll give you a 30-day free trial and my ebook that shows how to use SEMrush, 24 ways to use it. So you're incentivizing everyone to aggressively share it. And then, I did the announcement email. So that was kind of how I promoted it with my email sequence. I used the tool called Buzz Bundle to go out and find all the URLs of blog posts from SEMrush that had been shared a lot. I entered that URL in the Buzz Bundle, and what this tool does is it goes out and finds all the people that are sharing it across Facebook, Twitter, Google+, forums, or talking about it,
And then I just engaged any of those people and said, oh, hey, you really like this article. You're a fan of SEMrush. So I'm actually giving away a free account. You might want to check it out. That's another thing I did. This one now that I'm going to talk about, this had the biggest impact or surge in the amount of traffic that was going to it. I just reached out to all of the people that had ever commented on my blog posts. So it's kind of a tedious process if you're just scraping it manually. But I just went through and I got all the email addresses of people who were commenting on my blogs. And then I used a tool called GMass to just do a mass outreach email to all those people. And the message was very personal, like, hey, so-and-so, I just wanted to say thanks for leaving a comment on my blog. You're a valued member of my community. I noticed that, you left a comment on this SEMrush post, so I want to give you a heads up that I'm giving away a free license. You might want to check it out. And that did really well. Whenever I sent those emails out, it was like a massive uptick in the amount of email subscribers and traffic I was getting to the giveaway. And then just going through quickly, some of the other things I did is I channeled existing traffic. So I have 3 or 4 posts on my site that get thousands of visits every single month. So I added a header bar using SumoMe. They have a thing called a smart bar, which is just kind of a little bar across the top of your post, call to action button that people can click through to the giveaway. And I also added a sidebar image just to try and funnel some of the traffic on those posts through to the giveaway. I listed it in subreddits, Google Plus communities, LinkedIn groups. And then I also used a tool called Tweet Jukebox. A lot of people probably haven't heard of it, but it's kind of a little gem that I've been using a lot. But essentially you can set up, they call them jukeboxes, but that's essentially a list of content that you set up on a set schedule, and it just continually goes through the jukebox or a list of posts, continually recycling them out. So I set that up aggressively for my Twitter account to promote the giveaway 2 to 3 times every single day while it was going. And I used tools like Snapper.io to create custom images so it didn't look like the same thing every time I sent it out. And then the final thing that I did was I used Facebook ads. Very low spend. I can't remember exactly what I spent, but it was probably like $30 to $50. And I did 2 different ad sets with it. One was very generic interest-based targeting around like SEO, PPC. And then the other one I did was I promoted it to some custom audiences. I uploaded my email list and targeted those people so I could hit anyone who didn't receive my promotional emails. And then I also sent it to anyone who ever visited content on my site related to the giveaway. So if they'd ever read like an SEO related post, for example. With one of those ad sets, I think it was the generic interest one, actually, I was able to get, I did a engagement campaign and I was able to get 1 cent cost per engagement. So very low cost engagement. And that also too drove a ton of traffic. So high level overview of the 11 things I did there.
That's an amazing process. I'm just thinking, how much time did that take you?
It took me a lot of time, to be honest. Like, I have a full-time job during the day, so this is all done on evenings. So I would pretty much every night for that 10 days, or at least during the week, I spent, probably at least 1 to 2 hours every night promoting it, with whether it was outreach or setting up ad campaigns or, writing my email sequences and different things like that. So it is a time-intensive process if you go through something like that. But it's what you have to do if you really want to get something to take off. And, 1,200 emails in 10 days, that's like, that was at the time, that was double the amount of subscribers that I got in a whole month. And, as we'll probably touch a little bit later on, it actually has generated some nice income for me as well. So
that's my next question, actually, because you can monetize these giveaways, can't you? Did you monetize that one, or have you since?
Yeah, so I actually did monetize this one. I took like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I'm an affiliate for the product. So, I took that route. What I did, and it all kind of came down to how I set up my email sequences. So, or actually backtrack just one extra step. So that was one of the reasons why I chose SEMrush as well. Like, I use the tool every day. That's why I'm an affiliate for it. So I figured if I could get 1,000 people to enter the giveaway wanting to win this tool, I know they're interested and probably want the tool. So, it was just a matter of remarketing to these people somehow, or enticing them to at least get a trial of the product. So what I did is, in my email where, I reached out and I was like, hey, for everyone who gets 5 additional entries, I'm going to give you a 30-day free trial, plus I'm going to give you my SEMrush playbook, which is a 10,000 word guide showing them 24 ways to use the tool in their online marketing campaigns. And, anyone who signs up for that 30-day trial, they get 30 days risk-free, so it's value to them. But then if they stay on after that 30 days, that's when it turns into affiliate revenue for me. And then also giving them the ebook, again, value, shows them how to use the tool. They can see if it's actually something they want to use or need. That ebook has affiliate links in it as well. So if they're reading it and decide, yep, I want this, I'm going to sign up for that free trial now, or I'm just going to go and buy it again, that's affiliate revenue. So that was one big part of it. And then the next part was how I structured my autoresponder. So anyone who signed up for my SEMrush giveaway, I actually have a SEMrush autoresponder configured that drips content that shows how to use the tool. So I have one post on there that shows them how to do keyword research for an existing website. Another one shows them how to 5 advanced tactics for doing PPC analysis using SEMrush. So I'm not just selling to them, I'm actually providing actionable content that they can use to, find ways to use the tool and be successful with their business. And then again, that drives them back to these posts that have affiliate links. But I also use another tool for my email list now. It's called Thrive Leads. And one of the features in this tool is a feature called Smart Links. So what this allows me to do is I can show different opt-in offers depending on if someone's already opted into my email list or if they aren't. So anyone who clicks through from one of my affiliate autoresponder emails to the blog, they don't see that same, ebook offer, because that's kind of redundant, right? They've already opted in for that. Instead, they actually get a pop-up or a slide-in or something that has a promotion of the actual product itself, where they can just click through and get it. And that's been pretty effective as well. So those are the ways that I've sort of promoted my affiliate, relationship with a product to monetize without being overly salesy and providing value.
It's a great 2-prong approach. You get all those email subscribers who you can provide value to and sell stuff to in future. And then you make those instant affiliate commissions as well. So you monetize, or at least break even, or perhaps make some profit on the actual process of the giveaway itself. But I'm going to go off on a tangent here, as I sometimes do, because while you're talking then and talking about Thrive Leads, which I use as well, and all the stuff you've been doing with the tech behind the giveaway, is that, people say you need a strategy for doing your content marketing, and you need to, set everything out first with all your goals and everything. What occurs to me is sometimes the capability of the sort of technical softwares and some of the tech setup that you're using, that actually becomes the strategy in itself. Do you know what I mean? You can really steer your conversions by setting the technical aspects of something like this up in the right way, can't you?
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Like, a tool like Thrive Leads, like I've been using it for a year or a little over a year now, and it's allowed me to do so much more, especially with my email marketing, like how I'm marketing to my existing audience. And, if you're wanting to monetize a giveaway, you need to find, the people who are opting into the giveaway are interested in the product. So, it's a very targeted audience and it should be relatively easy to sell to them, or at least get them to try the product if they didn't win, right? So using an autoresponder, for example, that's just one way to continually get the product in front of an extremely interested and engaged audience and show value and continually drive them back. But then using the technology like Thrive Leads, the Smart Links feature, for example, not only are you driving them back and showing them value in content, but you're using this feature or tool to not show them like a redundant offer or something. It's an aggressive way to continually promote the product to them and get them to click through and either explore the product website or sign up for a trial. It's just continually, engaging that offer. And, and once you start to build out a large sort of, segment of your email list, for example, my SEMrush one, that list now has, I think, almost 3,000 people on it. And it's people that I know want that product or are extremely interested. So I'm just actively continually build out content around that offer or that product, showing them how to use it. And then just trying to, once one person drives up, instead of just being given like, oh, hey, you should use this product, over the next 60 to 90 days, they receive probably, I think it's like 7 or 8 different touch points with content and offers for the product. But I'm doing it in a content way where I'm not just selling, I'm actually showing them how to use the tool. And, it's been really effective. And if you're not an affiliate too, there's lots of different ways. Say you're doing one for your own business and you sell a drone, for example. Anyone who opts into that segment of your list for a drone, they're extremely interested in the product. So offer them, a 30 or 40% discount as a follow-up email, or send them a guide on how to fly a quadcopter, or a guide on the cheapest quadcopters under $100. Like, I'm just using Michael Karp. I know he's done something similar to this, or at least the content he's written. So this is the way you kind of infuse that into your strategy and promote with something like Thrive Leads, or some kind of going off on a tangent, but just trying to throw out ideas.
No, but that's great, because I was just thinking off the back end of getting those emails, I've just started transferring all my lists to ActiveCampaign. And it was like that cartoon, The Croods, when they discover fire. I was sort of playing around with it, and it was just like, oh my God. I'm just setting up automations just for the hell of it, because I think they're fun, Yeah. And I'm downloading automations and I'm plugging them in, and you can get all these different ones. It's like a sort of toy box, and it's just so incredible. People say to you strategically, you need to segment your list. And then a tool like this comes along, and those smart links and various other technologies you can use, and you start playing around with them, and suddenly a penny drops and the clouds sort of clear, and you go, okay, that's what you can do with it. That's what you can do with a segmented email list.
Exactly. And one thing that I've found to work well with that too is just elaborating on that technology and segmentation part is, you can have, and I've heard ActiveCampaign's awesome. I haven't tried it out yet, but I've heard a lot of people saying great things. So this just makes me want to try it even more now. Within an email, if you write a piece of content or something that's showing them how to use the product that you offered in your giveaway, and you're trying to drive them to a piece of content, you can have something in your autoresponder where, there's a link. If someone clicks that link to, again, read and learn more about the product, they're really, really interested in it. So you can have that like trigger the next day a specific offer to that person, like a 20% off, or, hey, get another 30-day free trial or something like that, because they're continually engaging and learning about the product. So they're probably getting closer to converting. So using those types of behaviors to, again, segment your messaging and targeting a little bit more as well. That I found that works pretty well.
Okay, now we're making this whole giveaway thing sound easy, which is great. But I know there were a few mistakes you made that you sort of point out that we should look out for when doing this.
Yeah, sure. Like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, that my first giveaway I did was, I ran it for almost 2 weeks, I think, and I collected maybe 100 subscribers. And I gave away a subscription to Lead Pages, which, I don't personally use that tool. I know a lot of people do and have great things to say about it. But, it had nothing. I knew that product would be extremely valuable to my audience, and they would, be very engaged with it. But I just did a terrible job of promoting it. So that was kind of where it fell flat on its face. There's 2 areas where a lot of people fail. First one is they pick it too generic of a prize. Going back to that iPad example, you really need to make sure it's relevant and desired by your audience. And the second part is not promoting it. Like, it is a lot of legwork, but there's not really many other ways where you can capture thousands of email addresses in like a week, right? So it's well worth it. Have a predefined promotional strategy in place before you even launch the giveaway, and then just put your head down and just bust it out for a week, and the results will speak for themselves.
Okay, well look, this has all been really fascinating. It's something I'm definitely going to try. But before we go on to the PS question, I know you've got a special landing page set up for Content Champion listeners.
Yeah, I do. You can go out to RobbieRichards.com, which is my blog, and I think it's /giveaway-guide. It's just a landing page I've got where anyone listening can go and download a 7,000 word PDF of my viral giveaway guide. And it covers every single thing that we've talked about on this podcast, as well as 6 additional promotion strategies that you can try that I'm currently using to promote giveaways. And then it'll help you out. Step-by-step guide to building those viral giveaways. So check it out.
Wait for it, listeners. Here comes the PS question.
Okay, now this is what I call the PS question. I'm not going to let you go without giving us an answer to this, if you would. Could you share one more advanced content marketing tactic we can use right after the show, please?
Yeah, sure. In terms of advanced, it's hard to really say anything these days that people haven't spoken about or covered already. But one thing that I'm just going to throw one out that has worked really, really well for me, and it's a free way to promote content. It's going out. I use a tool called BuzzSumo. I pretty much type in keywords related to whatever new piece of content that I have just published, find what has been shared the most, and then I just export a list of all of those sharers. And then to scale this, I just enter in different keyword variations to just come up with, probably a dozen different articles that have been shared a ton. And then I build out a list of all those people, find their emails, and then I use a tool called GMass to send out a mass email that pretty much just says, hey, you recently shared this piece of content. I read it, really liked it, thought you might find this guide interesting. Appreciate it if you share it. And then I also like to just finish off by saying to them, and then also too, if you have a piece of content that, you would like shared or, something along those lines, then more than happy to help you out as well. And, I've found this, again, it's a bit of legwork, but, you only need a handful of influencers to share it, and it just creates a snowball effect for the promotion because, then their audience starts engaging with it, and it's really effective. But I also take that tactic one step further. And if I do have someone that actually responds to my email and actually ends up sharing the piece of content that I'm sending across to them, I follow up with them after and say, hey, thanks, and then reiterate that message. Let me know if I can ever, return the favor. And then one thing I'm trying right now is to build out what I call an advocate list. So anyone who shares my stuff from this outreach, I asked them, hey, do you mind next time I create like another epic guide or case study if I just shoot you an email and let you know about it? And then if they say, yeah, no problem, send it my way, I add them to another list in a Google spreadsheet. And then this way, not only am I building my email list, but I'm building another list of engaged, I guess you can call them content advocates or something along those lines, but people who have a track record of sharing my stuff. And it just, mine's a couple hundred long now. So whenever I share another piece of content, not only do I send it to my email list, but I send it to these people who all have massive audiences and they share it out as well. And it just creates an instant surge of traffic that pretty much takes care of it. I don't have to do a whole lot more to get some good traction that way. So...
Well, look, that's a great answer to the PS question. We kind of got 2 answers for the price of 1 there. So thanks for that. Thanks also for a great call about, building your email list with those giveaways, which I'm going to try. And I think lots of people listening to this will. Yeah, all that remains to say today is thanks very much for your time and good luck with everything in future, Robbie.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Loz. It was fun.
You've been listening to the Content Champion podcast, available at contentchampion.com and on iTunes. Until next time, thanks for listening.